It's, it's, that's always my experience. So it's wonderful that we're able to throw this annual membership meeting, and so many of you decided to take time out of your day, your night, your morning, your afternoon, whatever time it is in the part of the world you are, to come and spend the next 90 minutes looking at what's going on with Dark Sky International and with the future of the Dark Sky movement. So we're really, really grateful for everyone to take the time and be with us here. We're just going to spend a few minutes as we get going, waiting for more people to join. Um, get here. And as we do that, I first wanted to start by introducing myself. I know many of you. I'm Ruskin Hartley, and I have the great honor, privilege, and actually pleasure of being the CEO of Dark Sky International. I joined the organization 6 years ago when it was the International Dark Sky Association, and I often tell people when I joined, I actually didn't know anything about dark skies or light pollution or lighting or all of that. And I've learned an awful lot along the way over the last 2 years through the generosity and support of so many of the people on this call, the people you'll meet over the next 90 minutes, and just really excited where we are and happy for everyone to come and join with us. Before we begin, we did want to share that we want to really ensure that this is a safe, welcoming space for everyone. And just remind participants, by participating in this webinar, this discussion today, you're agreeing to our code of conduct, which will be dropped into the chat. If you have any questions about how Zoom works or what's going on, please feel free to message Chris, Abby, or any of the staff that are on the call. They can help you out. And hopefully, I was thinking of it with what 5 years ago was certainly in the US was just before we went into lockdown and the pandemic. We learned very quickly how to engage in this virtual world. But some people might be new to this, so please reach out and let us know. And please let us know as you are. Hi, Cindy from Texas. Let us know where you're joining from. It's so wonderful to see people coming from around the world, around the United States, so many different time zones, so many different countries, so many different continents. So our goal for the next 90 minutes is really to give you an overview of what's been going on at Dark Sky with your support, with your generosity. We're here, we're able to do this work because of you. We're here to support you in the work that you are doing. And this is an opportunity for you to hear from our board and from our staff, and then engage in breakout rooms, meet each other, engage with some friends colleagues and people from around the world who share this same passion and same interest. I did want to start by acknowledging the incredible team, the staff that I am so grateful to work with every day. We could not do this if it weren't for this incredible team, a team that now is based here primarily in the US, but we're bringing on team members in our friend to the north up in Canada and expanding into the UK as well. We're just so excited to have them here. Many of them are joining. You'll have the chance to meet with them. Chris is going to share a couple of polls so we can get a sense of who's in the room, as it were. And so, Chris, could you go ahead and share those? Yeah. So just a couple questions. How long have you been involved with Dark Sky? I would be right in the middle there, 4 to 10 years, right in the sweet spot. But I know that many are coming new to this, but many of you have been involved for a long time in this work. So great. Thank you for sharing that. So one of the things that's so exciting about this movement is bringing in so many people new every year, bringing those new perspectives, new ideas, new energy. And what time of day are you most active? For me, definitely morning there. The night, sometimes I think I'm in the wrong role. I actually don't go good after the sun goes down. Much more familiar with the early morning sky than I am than the late evening sky. And they are looking ahead. Which dark sky initiatives excite you most? And I think Chris is going to share some of those results when we have sort of critical mass in there. Seeing the answers, dark sky places, our lodging programs, policy and advocacy work, education and outreach, really exciting. See the number of you excited in that work. So why don't you go ahead and close those polls, Chris? Is that something that I have to do? There you go.
Got it. Here we go, sharing the results.
Are able people to see those results now, Chris?
Yep, right now.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. So hopefully that gives you a sense of who you're joining with today over the next 90 minutes or so. Let's see, I messed up that one. So it's really my honor to introduce you to some of my friends now, my colleagues, and wonderful advocates for this movement on our board of directors. And here you'll meet and you'll hear from some of them today. You can see here that the board truly is a remarkable board. This is truly an international organization governed by an international board with members of the board from the United States, but from Guatemala, from Mexico, from Germany, from Chile, from New Zealand, and from Kenya. Bringing diverse perspectives, astronomers, lighting designers, engineers, business people. Those perspectives is what enables us to shape this work and be effective and provide the support and guidance that you need. And it's my honor and pleasure to work with them. I'm also really excited to introduce you to our new board president, someone who I now consider a friend. I've visited her a couple of times down where she lives, down in New Zealand, and feel like while our paths have been different, there have been many similar elements. Nalani is a trained economist who actually now has a master's degree in astronomy and has run the Royal Astronomical Society of New Zealand down there. So she is a business person who's spent a lot of time working on economic development projects throughout the Asia Pacific region. And as you can tell, as she says her story, she has a true passion and drive for the work she's doing. And as I'm really excited that she is our first board president from outside the United States. And that is really an indicator of our commitment to being a global organization. Nalani will pass the baton to Connie Walker, a colleague here in Tucson, known to many of you for a lot of her work. She's going to share a little bit about one of her exciting projects that we hope you can all participate in Globe at Night. And then you'll hear from our incredible treasurer, Brad Schleselman. If you want to know about the optics of light and glare and things, Brad's your guy, and he's also a really good treasurer in terms of ensuring that the support funding you provide to us is well stewarded and taken care of. And then Brad will pass it back to me. So Nalani, thank you for joining us. It is Friday where you are. It is Friday about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm assured, as you shared earlier, that your husband, Gareth, who is also well known to the DarkSky community, brought you a cup of tea. So we're really delighted for you to join us, and pass the floor to you. Thank you, Nalani.
Thank you, Ruskin. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at this meeting, and also for being part of this DarkSky journey. It's a journey that we all embark on at different times of our lives for different reasons. And I find today that I'm with the majority on this poll, where I have been on this journey for about 7 to 8 years now. My journey, I'm coming to you today from New Zealand, and my journey started when the findings of the 2016 New World Atlas, the Fabio Falchi report, came out. That was very much a wake-up call for me. I had been an astronomer, an amateur astronomer for decades. I had done my master's degree in astronomy, but I hadn't twigged on the destructive effect of light pollution until this report came out. And as you can see in the map, New Zealand is not that impacted, but countries where I'm very familiar with, where I've lived, like in the UK, Europe, they are very severely impacted. And the shock to me was a third of humanity could no longer see the Milky Way. I have a holiday home in Auckland, New Zealand, where I can step out on the balcony and see the Milky Way on any clear night. So this was a wake-up call and a shock and a realization that things could get worse. So I then looked at the situation in New Zealand, and the good news was we weren't quite so badly impacted. Out of the developed countries, New Zealand was probably in the best place ever. We had over half our skies are pristine night skies. The North Island has 74% of the skies are either pristine or ever so slightly impacted at the horizon. For the South Island, it's 93%. And most importantly, they are accessible. But they were also under threat like the rest of the world. So I took this as a call to action because I was already steeped in astronomy, and this was something that I felt was a cause that was worthy of some time and effort from me. So that was my entry point. And I find the reason I'm still here 8 years on, and I've got more and more and more hands-on contributing to it, is I find it an absolutely irresistible personal cause that I could support. The reason for it is very simple. It actually combines three important issues for me. One is the protection. It protects the environment, it protects the history, which is very important here in New Zealand because it was the last big landmass to be occupied by humans, and they came from Polynesia. Through Polynesian navigators traveled thousands of miles through celestial navigation. So night sky, understanding and interpretation of the night sky was very important. And it's very integrated into our culture here in New Zealand. I know it's the same in other countries, but in New Zealand, the Maori, the indigenous people, have continued to practice the culture very strongly linked to the night sky. In 2022, our government made Matariki, which is the Maori New Year, recognized by the heliacal rising of Pleiades at dawn as a national public holiday. So it's quite serious here, the culture. So we can protect environment, history, and culture. And the other attraction for me was this was a manageable type of pollution, unlike air pollution or water pollution, where one can get overwhelmed as to how to get it under control. Light pollution is within the control of each of us. We can each contribute within our homes or the little spheres through our communities. And although DarkSky is advocating responsible lighting, the truth is, should we all switch our lights off, light pollution's gone. It doesn't accumulate like the other pollutions. So there was a view that I can make a difference getting involved in this cause. And lastly, but not least, because I am an economist, the economic contribution that dark skies can and does make. Dark skies and astrotourism seem to coexist, and astrotourism today is a leading tourism trend, and New Zealand is a number one export generator is tourism in this country. It employs 7-8% of the workforce, it's 10% of the GDP, and astrotourism is ecotourism, it's sustainable tourism, it fits right in. So this combination for me was absolutely irresistible. And I had already a passion for astronomy. I had for conservation, and I felt I had the right skill sets through my day job, like knowledge transfer, advocacy, governance. So I sort of got involved in dark skies. I have looked at, in 2018, the Dark Sky board made some significant decisions to strengthen the organization. They strengthened the board by bringing in more specifically skilled people from right around the world, and they appointed a new executive director, Ruskin Hartley. And from then onwards, the organization was strengthened and focused, and I'll just give you a broad brush understanding of where we've got to. Dark Sky's international global presence has increased. Today, we have 3,500 volunteers in 108 countries. We have 105 chapters in 32 countries. We have 246 dark sky places in 29 countries in all of the 6 continents. Our board consists of 13 coming from 8 countries. And a global leadership council is to be launched this year, which will have a global representation in its membership. So DarkSky's international presence has vastly increased over the last 5-6 years. And the DarkSky Places program, which actually showcases what we stand for and protects the night sky in a very tangible way, has also expanded. It's now in, as I said earlier, 246 in 29 countries. If you look at the chart on the left-hand side, you can see how the US still dominates this. 60% of the dark sky places are still in the United States. But if you exclude the US and look at the chart at the top, it's rapidly increasing. There are over 20 countries which have just brought in their first dark sky place. My experience in New Zealand is once you have the first one, it showcases things and it starts snowballing. So in New Zealand today, when I got involved, I was involved in certifying the second place. Today we have got 9. It's the same story in all those countries. So we are expecting this to grow exponentially over the coming years. There is a pipeline of 200 plus, half of it outside of the USA, and the program itself is being upgraded. So the area certified, which is the bottom chart, it's accumulating, and we want it to grow faster. Rather than saying number of places certified, we want to say land area certified. Then the capacity of dark sky also has been strengthened over the last 6-7 years. The board's gone from 8 to 13, that's a 60% growth. Staff's gone from 10 to 20, that's doubled in size in just 7 years. But what's more significant, I mean, this group, small core group, there's only a limited amount of impact we can make. So where the effort has gone in is the volunteer group. It's gone from 80 in 2018 to nearly 3,000, 2,914 as of now. And the volunteers, that's advocates. If you include all the volunteers, it's gone from 2,100 last year to 3,500 this year. So this is where the strength lies, and this is where global reach lies. If you look at the financial capacity, that has also grown fourfold in the last 6 years. It's gone from about 850,000 to 2.8 million. So what we can spend actually makes a difference to the number of staff we can have, specialist skills we can contract in, tools we can have, and travel and support. So that's actually happened thanks to you. So you have played a major role in joining our volunteer group, and also your donations to the organization. This has made a big difference to us. And where are we at now? I was invited to join the board 3 years ago, and since then much has happened. We have reestablished the vision and mission in 2022. A 5-year strategic plan was approved 2024 to 28. The staff have created a very detailed and focused implementation plan, which was approved in 2013. 2024 was our first year of implementing the plan, and we are tracking really well, and we've just entered the second year. The other big step we are undertaking is a multi-local regional plan. It's yet to be implemented. I'm sure you'll hear from Ruskin more on that. And the final thing is, in any life cycle of any entity, you have to be cognizant of the external environment. It doesn't stay the same. It continues to change. And we are now agile enough to deal with it tactically. There are opportunities out there. One example is astrotourism, as I mentioned. It's trending, and dark sky places are crucial for that. But there are also threats. There's always threats, and change of governments, change of policies that and the other opportunities, technology, improvement in technology helps to manage light pollution better. So we feel as a board, we are in a very positive position at the moment. We know what we are doing. We know how we plan to do it. And also, we have a strong team. We have a big volunteer force, motivated. So we are poised to take off. And we have momentum. So let me wrap up by summarizing what I see as the core strength of DarkSky. It is actually the commitment and continuing support of the members. We have 5,095 members at the moment, the chapters, the volunteers, including advocates and delegates, 3,500, certified dark places, showcasing and protecting dark sky places for future generations, and the financial support. That is very critical. And as members and donors, you have been supporting us. We have also come to the notice of larger sponsors and donors as doing good work for a good cause. So that's been very positive for us in the last few years. And last but not the least, the committed and talented employees of DarkSky and the volunteer board members who are leaders in their field and highly skilled in their areas of expertise. So that is where we are. Thank you very much, because you are the core strength of what we stand for, and together we can achieve a good fight to control light pollution for the future generations. So on this note, I will pass this on to my colleague, Connie Walker, who's the Vice President of DarkSky International, and who's very well known and well established and respected in the field of dark skies. Over to you, Connie.
That's a very generous description. Thank you very much, Nalini. I want to say, first of all, thank you to friends that are out there that I know, so many of you that are here, and also people I'm just meeting today. It's so wonderful to meet you. I wish it were in person, but it's a good start. So I'm an astronomer at the National Observatory of the US, and I have been involved in a program they host called Globe at Night. And this is one additional way beyond the 5 principles that Dark Skies has to actually actively participate in protecting the night sky. And I'll tell you why too, as I go through these couple of slides, why it's so important. So, so Globe at Night is actually a successful international citizen science campaign to raise public awareness of the impact of light pollution. And it's been running for 19 years. Next year, we're celebrating 20 years, and it's been in about 180 countries with more than 2/3 people participating and over 310,000 observations. So the worldwide campaign involves the public in reporting the night sky brightness by simply matching their view of a constellation like Orion this month. And it's still the first slide, please. And you compare that with maps of progressively fainter and fainter stars. And this is done during a day campaign each month when the moon is not out on the first half of the night. And this is basically to avoid the moon as a natural light bulb in the night sky. So I wanted you just to glance at the maps. So what results in the maps for Globe at Night are these dots of different colors. So the lighter the dot, the brighter the sky, and the darker the dot, the darker the sky. And most dots are bright because they're basically from the data from cities. Next slide, please. Thank you. So participating in Globe at Night is really fun, actually, and very, very, very easy and pretty fast, pretty quick. So first, you go outside more than an hour after sunset, and you make sure there's no moon, as I mentioned, and you, if possible, you turn off as many lights as you can where you are, where you're going to make your observation, and you let your eyes adjust to the dark. And it takes 10 or 15 minutes. This allows you to see more stars, obviously. And then you find the constellation that's the constellation of the month for Globe at Night. And this month is the last month for Orion, and it becomes Leo by the end of the month. And to help you find the constellation, you may need to use an app like Star Walk that displays where the constellation is and how you can find it. And then you go to the Globe at Night report page, and it's globeatnight.org, and it's in here online, globeatnight.org/webapp. And on that report page, you just simply enter the date, the time, and location where your observation is being made. And if you have a smartphone, that automatically goes in. You don't have to enter any of that. And then you choose this 8 charts, and you choose the one that most resembles what you see toward the constellation, like Orion in this case, that you're observing. So you're looking for the faintest star that you can see both in the chart and the constellation. And it's not counting stars, guys. Please don't count stars, because Well, if you're in a city, you'll be safe, but if you're out in the country, you may not be as safe. Might be there all night. So the faintest star that you can see determines the light pollution level, basically. Chart 1 is like what you'd see in New York City with a few stars. And then chart 7 would be to see in a national park where there's so many stars you can't tell one constellation from another. And then after you've chosen that one chart, you choose basically your weather, how much cloud cover that you have. And it's also from a selection of 4 images. And if you have a sky quality meter, which most people don't, but there's 10–20% of you might have a sky quality meter, you hold it straight above your head, as far from a structure as the structure is high, basically, and you take a measurement and enter the meter reading on the report page as well. And that's optional. So don't worry if you don't have a sky quality meter. And then when you're ready, you press the button that says submit and you are done. And that takes what, 30 seconds, right? It's just amazing. So next slide, please. All right, so here is one of the best examples of how you can actually, if you as a citizen scientist can contribute significantly to the protection of the night sky where you live, or anywhere, if you want to take it from other places. So just a couple of years ago, we had a study with Chris Kuiper in Germany. We used 51,000 of the data points for Globe at Night for various reasons, and they were observations of basically the visibility of stars that were made by citizen scientists, by you all over the world, over a 12-year period, and we were investigating the brightness of how the change in the night sky brightness occurred, if it were larger or not. And in those 12 years, we found actually, because of the observations of people from around the world, we couldn't have done it without everybody's observations, the number of visible stars, their number decreased by an amount that's explained by a 10% rise in light pollution each year worldwide. So the description of the project and the results are shown in that QR code that's just to the left of the slide if you would like to learn more about the article that was printed in Science magazine. Next slide, please. Okay, so just to drive home the point here, I want you to notice especially the image to the bottom, on the bottom right. Citizen science are very, very vital in providing data from across the world to Globe at Night and from all the years that they've done it. However, the results for Globe at Night are only as reliable as the thoroughness of the data. What do I mean by this? Well, it's basically illustrated by that map that's in front of you there on the bottom. The yellow, orange, and red areas seen mostly in the US, in Europe, in Japan, in Chile, and basically Eastern Australia are where the most observations are. But you can see all those blue areas, all those green areas that almost no observations came from, very few. So to be able to monitor over time the increase or maybe even decrease in some areas in the light pollution effectively over the entire world, we need more measurements from the parts of the world especially that have not been well represented at this point. Plus, we need more measurements in general and repeated measurements from the same locations over and over again over time. So well, we can go to the next slide if you'd like. So I'm trying to sell you all on the point that we need your help. This is a call to action to please spend a very few minutes every now and then just to measure your night sky brightness in your area. And as you can see, your observations will be invaluable to our quest to keep our skies dark and starry. And the dates for Globe at Night observing campaigns are listed here, as well as on the website. And it's accessible from that QR code you see on this slide. And there's also the postcards. Sorry, the postcards that you see are also downloadable from the website as well. And we typically have it in a multitude of languages, but right now I think we only have it in Spanish and English, but we're working on it. No problem. And I want to thank you as members of DarkSky and also DarkSky itself for giving me this opportunity to share the citizen science program with you, and for DarkSky being a co-sponsor of Globe at Night. Thank you much.
Thank you, Connie. We're going to welcome Brad up to the dais, as it were. Is Brad with us, Chris?
Yeah. Thanks,
Hey,
Rusty.
Brad.
Thank you. Yeah. So what I'm here to mention is our budget. Where are we at financially from an organization standpoint? I'm currently in my 4th year serving as treasurer of the board. It's been a long, fun ride, but we've made a lot of progress. And what I want to kind of start with is that not only commented on before, but prior to the year 2000, we were a very flat budget-wise organization. Our annual budget was about $1 million, plus or minus a little bit every year, for the duration of the life of the organization. And she had mentioned that we entered into a strategic mission, a strategic plan. We wanted to move the needle. We wanted to move the needle on reducing light pollution and educating light pollution. And so the board took some steps to say, what can we do to do this? And so, as Natalie put out there, there's been, we've tripled our revenue from roughly 2000 or just before 2020 all the way up till today. We're hoping this year we're gonna have about a $3.5 million budget. So tripling that piece of it. So what I want to share with you is kind of what we did in 2024 and what we're kind of looking for in 2025. So next slide. So this is the first slide. We in 2024 were very successful financially and stable. This number doesn't look huge, but we're putting your dollars to work. So if you're part of that, donating those dollars to the initiatives of the strategic plan, the educational outreach, the things that Russ can put in that survey. We are $42,000 net income over what we had planned. We have unrestricted assets of nearly $1 million, and you may ask why we have an unrestricted net asset and why do we have a 5-month operating reserve? And it's generally because historically, a large chunk of our income is received right at the tail end of a year. So it's not uncommon for us to get a large chunk of money December 29th, 30th, and 31st. And so what happens is we get to April, May, June, and there's less receivable donations that come in, and so we still have to operate. And so during our leaner times of the year, we put funds in a reserve so that we can bridge that 5-month period where we don't necessarily get as much funds in. So that's the reason for the 5-month operating reserve. Next slide, please. So if you look at this 2024 activity, our net operating income in 2023 was $193,000. Again, 2024 is about $42,000. The thing I want to pay particular attention to is the graphs, the graphical information. You can see that in both cases, both income and expenses, as far as revenue and expenses, are increasing year on year. And we want to just reiterate what Nalyani said. She, in 2019, we were about $1.2 million with 8 staff members. And this past year, 2024, if you look at that, we were about $2.6 million and 18 staff members. And so we've doubled in, the 6 short years. Our projection, what we're doing, what the board is doing is really being strategic and being proactive and trying to mitigate this light pollution. And so it takes money to do that. It takes staff to do that. And you'll see that our expenses go along with our revenue. When you hire people to help on this mission, a good chunk of what our money is, where the money goes that you donate, is to pay the staff people that are instrumental in administering the strategic plan. Next slide, please. So of the revenue it was accumulated in 2024, 54% of it was individual giving, folks like yourself, giving what you can. So 54% of our monies came from you. About 20% we have some brand partners, and we have some foundations and legacy giving, and then programs and revenue. Programs and revenue one is 14%. We hope that as time goes on that we do continue to do better at educating the masses around the world. on what it means to be good stewards of lighting and reduce light pollution, and that will go towards a lot of this revenue from program side of things. So next slide. Again, it doesn't happen without, none of this happens, the expenses, without investing in the people and services. We want to strengthen our mission impact and the fundraising return on investment. For every dollar that we spend, we feel like we're getting about a little over $4 in return for that. So it's all good. We're going in the right direction. We see good things happening. The board is excited about the direction that Ruskin and his staff are taking to execute on this plan. So next slide. The healthy net assets, we kind of look at three things: financial resilience, mission growth, and donor confidence. We want to support this not only for 2024, but 2025, 26, and 27. We're continually looking out years from now to see how we can remain sustainable for the long term. We want to continue to grow. It takes all of your help on this call and all of our 5,100 membership number to increase. 5,100 is a good start. We need to get more and more folks involved to help us fight this growing trend of light pollution. And then donor confidence. We want to make sure that what we are doing strengthens credibility with you and hopefully provides what you need for future support. Next slide. So our 2025 health goals is to maintain a balanced budget for 2025. We're going to go out, we're going to try to get more funds. We do intend on trying to bring more staff on to help throughout 2025, a few more bodies. We also know that it takes a lot of people to do this, and so it's going to take more money to do that. So balanced budget for 2025, we're going to expand the strategic investments. We're going to enhance our financial flexibility in some economic uncertainty that at least we have here in the U.S. There's some things going on where we're going to do what we can with what we got, but we hope you continue to support that. And then increase program revenue, growing individual and corporate learnings. The main thing that I want to point out here from a financial standpoint is that the board is committed to remain aggressive in the fight against light pollution, and your continued support is needed and is greatly appreciated. So again, I can't say that enough. The support that each of you have given to support this organization, both in your willingness to get out and talk to people, or from a financial standpoint, is greatly appreciated. Thanks, Ruskin. I think going back to you now.
Well, thank you, Brad. Thanks for sharing those thoughts, and thank you for your work on the board. And just to note, our board members, they're volunteers, right? They do this for love. They do this for passion. They put hours and hours of time into this work. And I can tell you, every board member is also invested personally in this, some shape or form. They're doing so much work that goes beyond the volunteer time they spend in our monthly and regular board meetings. So thank you. Hopefully you get a sense of them, and you'll get a chance to meet them during the breakout sessions when we get to that part of the agenda. I wanted to pick up on spend a little bit of time talking about what we have accomplished with your support and what you have really accomplished. A lot of this is what the community has accomplished. But share some of those stories and take a little look ahead. I did want to acknowledge one thing that Brad said. So that, this is a time of tremendous uncertainty, right? This is a time of tremendous uncertainty here in the United States, and in fact around the world. I talk to my family in the UK or chat to Nalani, and that uncertainty is real. It's affecting people's lives. It's affecting people's families. It's affecting people's friends. As we look ahead to our work, as Brad said, we need to be smart about how we navigate this uncertainty. And some of the partners that we have looked for and have worked so collaboratively for years are struggling. Just take the National Park Service, for instance, which is one of the core partners in our International DarkSky Places program. They are clearly struggling at this time, and people rely on the national parks, for instance, to go and plan those wonderful visits and those star parties. Things are going to be different this summer, right? It might be that they are not able to put that star party on because they don't have the staff to do it. And I just wanted to start by acknowledging that and saying, we hear you, we're here for you. We want to be flexible. We want to acknowledge this, and we're still committed. As you heard from Brad and Connie and Alani, we are committed. We are in this for the long game. I also wanted to share a story. I take so much strength and inspiration from the stories that you share with me, the stories from our members. Nancy from California reached out just about a week ago and shared a story from the New York Times that she had read that morning online. And in fact, several people sent me photos of it, of the article that had been published. This was an article in the Science Times about the Isle of Rum, one of the newest international dark sky places. This is an in-depth story with incredible photos. It made me want to go there. And what Nancy shared really resonated with me. It was simple. I think in these uncertain times, the night sky can provide beauty and comfort. And that resonated deeply with me and really, to me, is the reason for we doing this work. That's one of my whys. Our community, Nalani touched on it, our community is strong and vibrant and growing. It is also small and tiny. So the potential to grow it, for you to help us grow it, is tremendous and profound. And what connects us is our mission, right? Our mission to restore the nighttime. We're past protecting it. We've lost too much already. To restore the nighttime environment, protect communities from the harmful effects of light pollution, not by turning off all the lights and plunging the world into medieval darkness, but by being smart about the way that we're using light. And that is the center of our outreach, our advocacy, and our conservation programs. And we have made tremendous strides, and we still have a long way to go. I wanted to touch a little bit about the value of natural darkness, right? We talk a lot about light pollution, right? And those of you who were with us last year remember that Tom Reinhardt encouraged us to talk less about light pollution. But what are we for? Right? We are for the value of natural darkness. And but why? Right? For exploration, clearly. People like Connie rely on natural darkness so that they can help us unlock the mysteries of the cosmos. But it's so much more than that. Natural darkness is just good stuff, right? It's good. It's better sleep. It's circadian health. And more we're learning that sense of inspiration, that sense of awe, that sense of wonder is rooted in that connection to natural darkness and the infinite view of the cosmos. Natural darkness is beautiful, right? In urban places. Natural darkness enhances contrast. It provides depth and brings beauty, which is misspelt, I just now noticed, apologies, and brings focus, right? You imagine, heaven forbid, you're in a hospital surgery, you are happy that they have those bright lights, I think, there, right? But you don't want your place where you're having a dinner with your family and friends to be lit in the same way. That contrast, that interplay in light and dark creates the beauty and it creates the wonder. Clearly, the natural world needs natural darkness. You'll have seen this slide maybe from me before, but who's out at night? 90% of amphibians, 69% of mammals, 60% of the bugs, and 30% of the invertebrates are active and out at night, foraging and mating and hunting, and we need to protect it. They don't get the chance to close the curtains and bring darkness to their lives at night. We have to help them with that. And more we're learning that natural darkness is a great indicator of sustainability. Reducing wasted light saves energy, saves money, reduces emissions. What's the problem? Problem isn't lighting per se. I would argue the problem is poor lighting choices. It's how we're using the light, not following the lighting principles we'll talk about. never lost on me this sort of irony that if I had a light bulb above my head, you would know that I had an idea, right? The light bulb is the symbol of innovation. Certainly here in the United States and Europe, where I was growing up, it is the symbol of innovation. But what's happened to it over time, right? It's got cheaper with the advent of modern LEDs. It's certainly got brighter. And now, as Nalani shared, so many people around the world, not only can they not see the Milky Way, but they live under perpetual twilight. A profound change in the environment. And now we know this, right? Light pollution is a global issue. This is from the new Fabio Falci's New World Atlas, from data now a decade ago. And from the work from the army of citizen scientists around the world, we now know, with Connie and Chris Kyber and others' work, that it is doubling every 8 years. Right? It's out of control. So what's the problem? I think at the root of the problem is our relationship to light and dark, right? We assume that more must be better. You know, probably more money in your bank account is better, but more money, more light on your front porch is not necessarily better. Many of you have seen this photo. More does not equal better when you're talking about light at night. Better light is better. And sometimes that means less, right? It means controlling the glare and getting it where you need it. I think that the solution as we look ahead is starting to think about designing with not just light, but designing with darkness in mind. This is a photo from Alula in Saudi Arabia that I had the opportunity to visit with one of our board members, Doug Barker, and a colleague, Dan Oakley, last year when we were announcing the first international dark sky place in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, just north of this town. And the old historic town of Alula is an incredible place to be. It is beautiful, it is welcoming, it is well lit with design and thought and intention. And that's where our principles come in. And many of you have seen these before, but the 5 principles of responsible outdoor light at night are being embraced by more and more industries and more actors. The concept of starting with actual darkness, adding light only where you need it. What's the use? Is it targeted? Use those lower levels, control it so it's on when you need it. It's dimmed down when there's fewer people around, and it's turned off when there's no one around. And use those warm colors where you can. Warm colors like candlelight, not like the operating room, as it were. And these are really the principles that underlie all our programs. And our recognition programs, we recognize best practices in terms of a fixture that you can purchase, all the way up to how you design the light for a whole city or community. And we like to think of our programs now at sort of how they work together as a system and as a family at 3 different levels. There are products that you can purchase. But really what matters is how you use those products. And Brad is always reminding us this. You can take a good product, you can get a great fixture, and you can misapply it and have a terrible outcome. And then we want to scale those up for policy so that we have a consistent set of requirements for everyone, because light doesn't stop at borders. Light spreads. So it's essential that we move this up from one to the other. And I want to focus a little bit on our application of light. So about 6 or 7 years ago now, we had developed our outdoor sports lighting program here in Tucson, Arizona, with a field that was being put at Quail Creek, just south of Tucson, that was near a residential community. And critically, it was in seeing distance of one of the world's major observatories. And the lighting designer who developed this project, Chris Monrad, knew that to keep the astronomers happy and keep the skies dark above Mount Hopkins, I believe it was, his best way of doing that was making sure the neighbors were happy. So he developed a program that's all about keeping the light constrained to the field of play, not overlighting it and not creating glare in your neighborhood. And that program has gone from strength to strength over the last few years. Last year, we actually certified the US Tennis Association facilities at Flushing Meadow for this program. And now there are dozens of outdoor sports fields that meet our requirements in cities and communities across America. meaning that kids can be out safe playing at night, which is important, particularly here in southern Arizona where it's so hot during the day, but we can do it in a way that ensures the community is respected. That concept really sparked an idea at DarkSky, which is how about if we take that concept to other sectors? And that is the path we're on at the moment. This is a map showing the change in night sky brightness as measured by the VIIRS satellite data, probably over the last 15-year period. It turns out the brightest spots in the map there are in southeast New Mexico and in West Texas. Question is why? There's no large city there. Well, that is the Permian Basin. That is arguably the largest oil field in the United States. It is one of the brightest spots on the map with the highest growth, and based upon some discussions we've had recently, there are projections to build an additional 2,500 facilities each and every year for the foreseeable future, quite likely to get brighter. This is the view from Carlsbad Caverns National Park, a wonderful cave with the bat colonies there. It is 100 miles distance. My colleague Michael Reimer took this. That is not Las Vegas. That is not Los Angeles. That people do live there, clearly. People live there and work there, but that is the oil fields. It is not a city. And as you get closer, you can see the problem. This is a drone flying across one of those tank facilities, and those 4, 5 bright white lights that you see on the top end of the photo are the lights that are lighting that facility all night. Interestingly, the light towards the bottom middle is warm like candlelight. That is the flare. It is not the flare that is causing the light pollution. It is the lights. And clear, like these are places where people are working at night, and we want them to be safe. We want them to be safe, and we don't want their lives to be in danger. We worked with the New Mexico Oil and Gas Association and an operator called Franklin Mountain Energy to help them retrofit some facilities and design some new facilities. And the impact was profound, right? This is after. So you can see no bright glare bombs anymore. Essentially, we eliminated all of the direct uplight. We brought natural darkness back to the surroundings. We eliminated glare. The impact measurably was a 99% reduction in sky glow. 99% of sky glow was eliminated completely by keeping light to the ground. There's a 60% reduction in ongoing energy costs. That's real money. We met all required safety standards. What was probably the most interesting to me was the observations that came from the people working in these facilities at night. They were like, well, this is just better. This is safe, even illumination without glare. The people who were working on the retrofits and the new construction, when they drove up to the site for the first time after the retrofit had gone, they could not see it, and they missed the entrance. Even though they were just a few hundred yards off it, by containing it, we had reduced the waste on this site. For the new construction, there was no additional cost. So this is an example where if you get it right from the start, there's no additional upfront costs. There's ongoing savings each and every year. You are creating safer light and you're eliminating light pollution. Who doesn't want that? Right? Who doesn't want that? And the realizations of that is the sort of approach we will be taking to additional industries and additional sectors with your support over the coming years to demonstrate that we can get this done. Clearly, one of the areas that we are known best for is our International Dark Sky Places program, and it is so exciting to see that program continue to go from strength to strength with, as Nalani was saying now, half of the places seeking certification are outside the US. We have places on every continent, and we have some countries like New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and others that are really getting the bit between their teeth and really taking this to scale. We now have 247 international dark sky places certified around the world. And what I can tell you from visiting some of these places and talking to these people, behind every place, there is a hero and a champion who gathers a team around them and gets the job done. This is something that anyone can get involved in. Our chapter up in Oregon is doing incredible work in there with the new sanctuary there and the new security. Up in Colorado, there are new places coming. coming over. Now we're in discussions and dialogue with groups in Africa, South Africa, and other places, and others who see the potential here. They see the potential to protect something that their community cares about, and they see, for many of them, they see the direct value in this. Right, people are hungry for these. They want to visit these places. So it's exciting to be part of this, and starting to see this continue to grow. And you'll see some changes to the program in the coming year to make it more accessible, even more impactful. And as we scale this up, one of the other things we've been doing this year is really focusing on dark sky policies. And we talked about this last year. I put a slide up here, the city of Flagstaff, to note that I think it was 1958, the city of Flagstaff passed the first element of a outdoor lighting policy where they banned searchlights to protect the observatory. But from that early beginnings, there are now dozens and dozens of communities around the world who've adopted quality outdoor lighting policies. But it can be quite difficult, right? This is technical. And so that's why over the last year, we worked really hard with advisors to develop some templates for municipal codes that would work in any city in the United States, and statutes and codes at the state level. We started in the US because that's where many of our members and supporters are, but we want to work with you to translate these and make them available and applicable to other countries and other communities around the world, with the goal that we make these simple and easy and accessible. This does not have to be difficult. So as we look ahead, what are we seeing? So the first is we really are working hard to expand our recognition programs, beyond policies, products, places, and policies. We want to bring people into the mix. Who do you trust? Who should you go to help you make informed lighting decisions? Which individuals are designers who understand these principles? Which businesses sell the products, and which retailers are involved in this? So who can you trust? What you should be purchasing, where can you be visiting, and what statute should you be enacting is the programs that we're building with your support. And underlying this will be a new learning management system. We are planning to pilot this later this year. We will be inviting people into that piloting program, and we aim to launch it fully next year. And that will underpin all of our programs, all of our work, enable you to get educated and informed, become a more knowledgeable expert about the application of light at night, and also critically be able to point to the people that you can go and work with to do this work. What's the timeline look like over the next few years? So here, this year, we're really focused on consolidating some of our programs, relaunching some of our programs. Next year, we'll be looking at launching the new learning management system so that we can really start to build that pipeline of people. And beyond that, the sky's the limit, right? The sky is the limit, and that's where you all come in to both extend the message, also provide that support. If you know people who should be part of this, bring them on board. So what's the call to action? We love our community. We rely on our community. You are the Dark Sky movement. So how can you help, right? You can join, get more active. Join our advocate and attend our monthly advocate action meetings. Meet the community, reach out to Chris and Callie for more information there. Connect with your local chapter. It can be lonely doing this on your own. You can join those monthly meetings, but build a community, find a community, build a community. Advocate, become a champion for responsible outdoor lighting in your community, and celebrate. International Dark Sky Week is coming up. Just a shout out here to check out our new code and statutes templates. We'll drop the link in the chat so you can go online and take a look at that. Those are a great starting point. There's a great starting point where maybe your community becomes an international Dark Sky community over time. I wanted to end with this, right? Many of you have seen this is not the second New World Atlas or the New World Atlas. This is the original work that was done back in 2001. Tadeo Falci, Chris Elvidge, and others were involved in that. And they looked at how night sky brightness had changed up to that point. They went back and crunched all data, 1950, the 70s, and 1997, interestingly, the year I moved to the United States. You can see there had been tremendous loss even up to 1997, or when this report was published. They also looked ahead. They looked ahead to the distant future, the year in 2025. We are now in 2025. I was looking at this, that they had projected 6% growth in sky brightness per year. Interestingly, Connie's work suggests it was actually 10%, but that projection of 2025 actually looks a lot like what the night sky looks like across the United States now. So they were prescient, right? They were onto something. Lots changed in the last 28 years since 1997. The good news now, modern lighting technology means, I think, as we look ahead, we need to be looking 25 years out in the future and saying we need to be starting to roll that back and reclaiming some of those skies. So 2050 looks more like 1997 and maybe even the middle 70s, right? The technology exists, the tools exist. The question is, do we have the will? Do we have the will, and can we grow this movement fast enough to get there? I believe we can. Just this morning, in fact, my sister-in-law, who is a teacher in California, sent me this photo, excited, right? This is the TAM News, the local high school publication. And this month, February 2025, it's not even on their website yet, it is dedicated, the feature article is about the dark sky movement. This is a story by the high schools coming together saying they want a different future. In this instance, they're advocating actually that the western part of Marin, in the county that they live in, become an international dark sky park. I cannot tell you how this made me feel. I can tell you how this makes me feel so hopeful, right? This makes me feel hopeful that this message is starting to resonate, and that the future in 2025 is one where we can, with some confidence, look towards reclaiming natural darkness. And everyone on this call is going to be part of that. So I wanted to thank you. No, thank you for providing the support. As Brad said, we can't do this without you, and we are doing this for you. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for challenging us. Thank you for encouraging us. And thank you for carrying this forward.
Welcome back, folks. We'll just wait for the rest of our breakout groups to close out. And then, Abby, Ruskin, if we want to share any closing thoughts or any insight you gathered from your room, we could go around to staff and board and hear from them.
How do you want? We got what, 4 minutes, Chris?
4 minutes, yeah, just to close it out.
If you want to draw in a couple other people, then I'll close out.
Yeah, sure. James, I saw you talking a lot in your room. How was your chat out there, James? Yeah, there we go.
Hey, it was really great. We talked a little bit about some of the opportunities for dark sky and like places that we could, where are places that we could put our efforts into. And we kind of talked a little bit about how, dark skies kind of flies under the political radar a little bit, and that it's, luckily, hopefully it shouldn't have any real impact on us in terms of, going after our objectives and, in any place in the world, and just opportunities for really rural, remote places that don't have a lot to offer, but besides a quality night sky. And so they can kind of capitalize on that through astro-tourism and kind of bring in some revenue that way. And it was very active conversation, really great people in the room. So
nice. That's great to hear. Any other dark sky staff or board want to share with some insights from your room?
Hi, I'll step in. Sergio from Guatemala. So we discussed about some missing information about the maps of light pollution. That's something that could be reworked. We need more updated data of how our skies are. We also heard some good practices in Canada and also the United States.
Nice.
I'll share something. We were talking about outreach events, and one of the things we talked about was parks and night hikes, and full moon parties are something we should be doing, because astronomers don't like the full moon. but the full moon is the level of light that you need to be in an outside environment. And taking people on the full moon can help familiarize them with the light, with the night, and be comfortable in a well lit environment, an effectively lit environment.
Thanks. Well, Mike, you have your hand up and we'll end it with you, okay?
Okay, well, just a couple of good points that I thought were very good. One person in the breakout room is new to the effort and wants to start a chapter, hasn't done it before. I think there's plenty of good support, so I encourage him to join here. And one other thing I haven't heard before was a town planner in a very small town that doesn't have Lowe's or anything like that nearby. They don't have any of the certified fixtures nearby, and I'm not sure what the solution is for that, if they have to order elsewhere or there's another way to work with people. So I just thought I brought that up because I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, I know we get that question a lot.
Good.
Ruskin, any final words?
Yeah, so I have one image now from I think it was Michael sharing in our breakout, outdoor midnight yoga with glow necklaces. So just creative ways of bringing new people into this, right? It's like that brought a smile to my face, right? And I'm sure it'll bring a smile to many people's faces here. As we close out, again, I just want to end by acknowledging and saying thank you. Saying thank you for all your support, all your engagement. Get more people involved. Bring your friends. Bring more people to this community. Bring more people. Get more people involved. That's how we're going to make a difference. And then get active. Hopefully, if the screen is sharing now, there are some great opportunities coming up this week, this year. International DarkSky Week is next up. A wonderful week in April. We have a photo contest over the summer and then our fall conference. And just to close with International DarkSky Week, just to acknowledge, DarkSky is proud to be the steward of this. We did not invent this. We did not develop this. We did not come up with this idea. This was a high school student in the US came up with this idea. And it has taken off, and it is now a thing that is active around the world. So we will never know where the next good idea is going to come from. So we need your help in finding those and incubating those and sharing them. But we hope you can participate in this. And it really is about celebrating. Yeah, there are ways to get active. You could get involved in getting your community to adopt a proclamation, but it's a great way to just celebrate the wonder of the night sky, really understand what's going on in your community and take that next step towards advocacy and action so we can turn this round, right? So that we can ensure that the high schoolers amongst us and the ones who are yet to come will still have those opportunities. So thank you. Please stay involved, please stay active, please stay engaged, get involved in the monthly advocacy meeting, get involved in the online communities, ask your questions. There's a great community here from people around the world, lots of expertise and experience who can help you there. So thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
You.